I'm really looking forward to this movie. Readers, the subject for today's lesson is a taboo one, but an interesting one nonetheless. As you all know, Disney is getting ready to release an animated movie introducing the very first Polynesian princess. This is important. We got our first African American princess in the form of Tiana. Merida became the very first Scottish princess when Disney took full responsibility of Disney Pixar's Brave. So when Moana is introduced, you think that that would be what initially caught my eye. You'd think. Of course, because he loves to talk about his projects. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson introduced that he was also going to be in Moana. But then this picture's released, and I'm all like, which segues into the topic of today's lesson, crushes on fictional characters. Now I could go on a long-winded speech about how both sides of the subject matter take situations. I could tell you about how normal people look at people who do have fictional crushes and be like, that's weird. And I could also talk more about people who do have fictional crushes and they're all like, oh my god, they're so perfect, I want to marry them until I die. Which is usually how marriage works. But no, readers, no. I'm just going to give you the bare bones. No crescendo, no leading up to it, just bare facts. And I'm going to let you know, having fictional crushes are okay. That's an interesting hypothesis, Laurent. I don't know if I'm using the word hypothesis in the correct terminology, but can you explain why? Well, I'm glad you asked. So let me answer your question with a series of questions. So answer me this. Do you have preferences in individuals? How did you develop these preferences? Do you have traits in individuals that you like more than others? How did you come to like these traits in individuals? More than likely, you looked up to a character in some form of fiction, either as a form of a role model or a form of attraction. Perfect example. At least for me. If you remember my video that I did on appreciating Batman Returns, you'll remember that I said that I really love Selina Kyle / Catwoman's character. One would say that I'm attracted to Selina Kyle. And I have no shame in that. I have no shame in saying that Selina Kyle is one of my first fictional crushes. Mostly because of the traits that she delivered and how I absorbed them. She's independent, but to a certain extent, she's not afraid to show weakness. She knows what she wants and she usually goes for it. I also love her level of self-confidence and how she embraces her sexuality. And you know another fictional character that had those traits that I also had a crush on? Maxine from Living Single. Having fictional crushes allow us as people to develop ideologies and qualities that we want to see in our significant other or people that we just like to associate ourselves with. Whether or not that be personality type, physique, a certain mindset. We find these attributes and traits into fictional characters first. And then we take this mindset with us out into the world and we look around to see if there's anybody like that out there that tickles our fancy. At the same time, we also fall for the trap that is but Laurent, isn't that setting our standards too high on some shallow Hal shit? First of all, how dare you? Second of all, I don't think so. Let's just discuss physical traits first and foremost. When have you developed the trait of you not lying whether or not you do or do not like a big butt? To the point where your other male friends and or siblings cannot deny that you do. Verbose. Either you develop those traits through puberty, or, and this is a subject matter for another video entirely, you probably watched, saw, or read something with the character with those traits. An hourglass figure, or you probably heard it in a song. And that's okay. It's not that having crushes on fictional characters establishes high standards for one person. They can just help establish for us what we do like in a person. Whether or not that's physical traits, mental traits, or personality traits. So if you have a crush on Jessica Rabbit, that's perfectly fine. If you have a crush on Lola Bunny, that's perfectly fine. If you have a crush on Thor, that's perfectly fine. If you have a crush on Kilowog and Mark Ruffalo Hulk, then we cannot be friends because they are both mine. So your homework assignment is to leave in the comment section below who your all-time fictional character crush is. Because I'm kind of interested. I want to know what my readers are into. I feel like I just opened up a floodgate. And I'm so excited. But this has been Readus 101. Class dismissed.